Um, Now free to leave, number one and the yeoman beam up immediately, but Pike remains behind with Vina, urging her to leave with him. Vina explains that she cannot leave. An expedition had indeed crash landed on Talos IV. Vina was the sole survivor, but badly injured. The Talosians healed her, but due to their unfamiliarity with human anatomy, she was left permanently disfigured. Only with the help of the Talosians and their illusions is she able to maintain her beauty and health. Which I love the fact that they actually make a point to say, which this seems ridiculous because they're humanoid. So you would think
Yeah.
in terms of her being repaired at least like what's the word I'm looking for, physically on the outside,
Yeah.
they would have just modeled her body structure after theirs, but I guess it's different. But
So
they
so
make
wait,
a
wait, wait. So I was sorry, I was just gonna say so this is prior to the Enterprise arriving there. She's injured and they're making her look hot. That's the
yes.
idea.
Yeah, she
Oh,
was
okay,
part
gotcha,
of the
gotcha,
she was part of the expedition that crashed, but she was the only survivor.
gotcha.
That's what I'm
Okay, okay. Because
saying
I was
because
like,
the ships manifest. I don't remember exactly what Pike says, but young adult. So I'm gonna say even if she's 16 when she crashed, it's been 18 years. So
okay,
she'd be 34, like minimum. She'd
interesting.
be in her early to mid 30s at least.
Okay.
So, and I mean, if
Okay, okay.
yeah,
'Cause I thought she was one of I thought maybe there was a stand. I guess I missed something because I thought she was one of them and she was making herself look hot. Um,
no, no, it was all their illusions.
I mean, like, I suppose we're going to get to the, you said there's a different resolution because I'm just like, the end goal here is for the bad guys of this is we just want humans to bang. It just kind of seems like there's easier ways to go about it.
Pike accepts this and agrees to leave her with the Talosians, who create an illusion of Pike as a companion for her. The Keeper sends Pike off with these words: "She has an illusion, and you have reality. May you find your way as pleasant."
That's, I do like that ending because it's, yeah, it's not really, it's not black and white. I enjoyed the fact that, yeah, it is, there's an ambiguity there.
Well, because somebody like Vina, who has her entire life basically has been trauma and loneliness, because even though she's with the Talosians, she's not one of them.
Yeah.
There I'm sure there's a degree of companionship, but to them, she's like a pet. She's kind of like how, we can have a bond with a dog, but it's not a human being.
Exactly. And
Um,
but I would also draw a comparison to, it's like when you're asked would you want to be removed from the matrix, it's like once you see outside of the matrix,
you're kind of
no,
like I'm down with the Matrix.
do I want to live where in the weird world where I'm bald and everything is like gross and awful, or I want to live in like 1999 and be awesome and sexy? I'm going to be in 1999 and be awesome and sexy.
I mean, it does kind of come down to, and I think this answer is different for everybody, is like, would you rather live in the real world with difficulty, or would you rather live in a fantasy but ultimately achieve nothing real? And that's not the way this episode frames is. It's not an easy answer because there's
Yeah,
definitely a temptation there. Like
sure.
I even point out, it's a very interesting moral dilemma too, because on the one hand, the Talosians have absolutely no right to capture a species and use it to repopulate their planet and basically, slavery, but with a more kosher name. But on the other hand, since Pike refuses them, he's basically doomed Vina and the Talosians to a slow, lonely. It's like, you want to be the last Talosian?
But that's my question though, is she there against her will or is she
N-
part of this?
No,
Is
see,
she
that's
consenting to this?
she. Pike says she can leave, but she doesn't want to because she's ugly.
Right. So then, but so then the moral question isn't, is it wrong that he's leaving her if she, I don't want to infantilize her. If she's making the choice to stay behind of her own accord, then where is I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
see
yeah.
the moral
It's
quandary there.
it's not a moral quant. It's I shouldn't. It's still a dilemma though. It's not so much that he's leaving her there because she does make the choice, but this is where you're getting to earlier. Like, surely could have been like, hey, Enterprise crew, there's 200 plus of you. Can we get like three of you, two dudes and a girl that want to just be like, you know what, fuck Starfleet. I'd like to just, colonize a planet.
That's what, isn't that part of any or Starfleet's thing? Is colonization not part of their thing going forward into this?
Not colonization. I would say that this would be willing colonization. Like, I mean, yeah, they colonize space, but they're supposed to do it on uninhabited worlds, but I mean, I think if there's a species that's like, hey, our planet's dying, we need, people to, it's basically like willing immigration, right?
Because removing the idea that they want to create people for unpaid labor and just assume that they genuinely want to repopulate their planet again, surely they can get like a red-blooded human male to be like, yeah, I'll pretend that she's hot.
Well, but here's the thing, because the other thing I was thinking of is like they're gonna get one pair, there's gonna be some inbreeding happening. They realistically need like 8 pairs,
Yeah, true.
like
To, I mean, to keep to have
minimum.
genetic diversity, yeah, ideally,
I
yeah.
I actually forget there is a magic number to prevent genetic inbreeding and to build a society. It might
Interesting.
be 8 that you have to start with, because eventually there's going to be enough crossbreeding happen that you can't have, because if you start with 2 couples, eventually there's going to be a degree of inbreeding.
Right.
I want to say I think 8 would be a good number to start with, 8 couples, so 16
Interesting.
humans.
I mean, they,
Um,
that seems low to me. You figure it'd be at least 10 or 12.
I mean, but it's only a crew of 200, right? I would say,
Right, right, right.
because you want volunteers, but you can't. Half the ship might be like, yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.